You're like, I will
was
clap
late.
too.
I decided not to.
Hey guys, it's Jen, and today I have a very special guest with me. This is my sister Linda. It's been a while since you've been on the channel, but I wanted to share an experience that we kind of went on together-ish, more her, of her getting her eyebrows tattooed for the first time. It's something that I have been wanting to gift her for actually like years now. You know?
What are you saying about my eyebrows?
No, it's because of what you say about your eyebrows. It's not what I say. Okay, how do you feel about your eyebrows?
They've been sparse, so I usually fill them in. It was something that I think we talked about for the first time a few years ago. With microblading, I think we were a little bit, or I was a little bit more worried about how microblading would be, looking at pictures and looking at scarring and post pictures and how it looked like over time. But when we talked about ombre, that seemed to be a more natural look.
When I've heard you talk about your brows, it's always been like, I will do nothing to my face, but I want to fill in my brows. With me keeping that in mind, I've always kind of kept my eyes open for the technology that I felt like would give you a really good natural look. Microblading has been really huge for the last couple of years, and I felt like every time I would talk to microblading artists about it, about like myself getting it, they would always tell me not to, and I'd be like, what? You know, like there has to be a reason, because why would they say something that would like hurt their own business? But you'll see a little bit more from the artists we worked with talking about it in the vlog portion of the video. But yeah, we stumbled upon several different reasons I feel like why ombre was a much better option for you than microblading. So I hope this video is really helpful for you guys, and I hope you enjoy seeing Linda getting her brows powder ombre tattooed. Good morning! Today I am taking my sister to get her eyebrows tattooed. Neither of us have done anything like that before, so I think it'll be really interesting. I did want to give you a peek of my outfit. I love this sweat set. Such a cute print on the front. This is from the Nico Heart and Fabletics collection. I'm going to be talking a little bit more about my outfits later on in the video, since this video is sponsored by Fabletics. For now, let's go ahead and head out and get some eyebrows done. Linda's here. She's just filling out a consent form. One of the first things that Judy said to us when we got here, she's the tattoo microblading artist. She said that a lot of people nowadays, they kind of act like getting your brows done is no big deal, and that's not really the case. I mean, it's still like getting a procedure done, you know? But I don't know anything, so I'm probably gonna ask her a lot of questions. I have quite a lot of brow hairs. Linda, on the other hand, even though we have the same parents, her brows are very sparse naturally. So Judy said she's actually a really good candidate for getting ombre brows because her brows are actually really fine and light, because it'll blend better. She said if you have really thick individual hairs, it doesn't look as natural because you can see like the shading color underneath the hairs. So Linda's a really good candidate for it, which is really great.
What kind of eyebrow style did you do? What kind of color did you use? What kind of texture? Is it like pomade or is it like powder?
Pencil, I've done powder before.
I'll do it as natural as possible, and also this is 2-session process. So you do come back at 6 weeks for the touch-up.
What is the difference between microblading and
Ombre?
ombre?
So this is ombre powder brow. It mimics how it looks after it's healed, like if somebody lightly powdered in your eyebrow. And with ombre, you can go as dark as you want, which means like you can make it look like every day where you're wearing makeup, a more dramatic look. Or we can do very subtly, where it's just a slight background color to make you look a little bit put together, but it never looks like you're wearing a ton of makeup. So that's the cool thing about getting ombre powder brow, because we can always adjust. Now, whereas microblading, there's no real adjustment to it because each stroke has to match the density of your own hair. For some people, their eyebrow hair is so dark, when they get microblading done, the color has to be so dark. When it's healed, it just looks like a really, really thick, dark eyebrow. And there's no way to like really tweak it. And also microblading is what it sounds like. It's a micro cut into the skin. It's literally done with like a, kind of like a blade. And most of my clients, when I have to do like corrections or cover up of a previous work, most of them have scars at the tail of their brow. This part of the skin is the thinnest part of our face. And once you have scar in your skin, it's very hard to take new ink into the skin as well. So because the skin is like kind of damaged, it looks a little bit shiny. Nowadays, I really prefer my clients to get ombre powder brow because it's just less traumatic for the skin. The only people that's able to take microblading is really young skin. So somebody that's in their 20s, and also they have relatively light hair like yours. If they have like really dark hair, I just say no. It's going to look really terrible in about a year. And also, if they have extremely oily skin or even slightly oily skin, each stroke that goes into the skin, over time, the oil in the skin blurs out each line. So each stroke that goes in, maybe in 3 months, it looked like a very thin line. But 6 months, 1 year, 2 years down the line, each stroke will blur out to maybe 2 to 3 times the width of what it was before. If a microblading artist isn't experienced and they place each stroke super close together, in about 6 months, it just becomes one solid block of eyebrow. I'm pretty sure you'll see that a lot online these days because a lot of people got it done thinking it was gonna be so natural, and then in 6 months they totally regret it.
So when you say light hair versus dark hair, you're not talking about color.
No, not just the color.
The thickness of
the color also the thickness of the hair. You know how some people have very coarse hair, they're really thick? I would not recommend those clients to get microblading done.
So she's just starting the process by shaping her brows to start. One of the big things is figuring out what your natural shape is and then having to do a good compromise between, you know, what you want your brows to look like filled in to work with like the direction that your natural hair grows.
Look at that. Wow. Can you tell I'm still trying to stay within her hair as much as possible? Yeah, I'm not giving you like a whole brand new eyebrow. Yeah.
That looks really nice though because it like opens up the eye, like the angle right here.
that was my eye.
Oh my gosh. Here.
Sorry.
How do you feel? Are you scared? Are you nervous?
No.
Are you excited?
I'm okay right now. I want to see how it feels first.
Oh, right. I guess we didn't talk about that.
Does it hurt?
So the first pass, I don't numb you. So to grab the shape and everything, I don't numb you first.
Is there a reason why you don't do the numbing?
Well, I could do numbing, but pre-numb before your skin is broken, it takes like 30 minutes and it barely does the work really. It just maybe takes the edge off a little bit. Whereas if you just breathe through the first 5 minutes of each eyebrow, the numbing penetrates within 90 seconds.
Wow.
And it actually works a lot better, like to the point where you're probably not gonna feel much on the second pass and third pass.
It looks really good from here, even though the color kind of matches your mask right now. Yeah, it's kind of hard to picture with the right colors,
Yeah.
you know? You're full on ready to go into surgery.
Yeah.
Initially, it felt like the scratchy side of Velcro, and then it's like, oh, it's definitely hurting more than that.
Yeah, at the beginning, like here, hurts
Yeah.
a little bit more than the tail. Once the numbing kick in, you'll see a white halo around her eyebrows because it has epinephrine, so it stops like the blood flow around this area.
The first pass, it does look very light.
So it's just a gradual building of color, just depending on how many passes or the color choice that we want to do, right? All right. Now the other side.
Oh, like it's like 2 passes, and the rest of it hurts more.
Well, after then you'll have the numbing too. After the one, your brows still look pretty fine and the color isn't too strong yet, but they're gonna build it up. Now how do you feel? Are you scared?
It was an unpleasant level of pain.
But you said it's tolerable. Right?
It's tolerable.
Okay.
I'm just gonna groom her strays.
The ones that are like outside of the line. So, as I feel like most Asians, right? Like
The tail.
the tail, like the hairs grow downward.
Yeah.
And then the hairs will be longer than what stays inside the shape.
So it's kind of like actually cutting, so trimming it to the shape of your eyebrows.
You can actually see little sort of dots.
Like I felt one tiny poke, but the rest of it was like nothing.
You can tell the difference with the numbing stuff.
Yes.
Good.
It's like 95% difference.
Oh, wow. So this is after 2 passes. She's still gonna do a third.
Oh, you said that.
Well, the first one doesn't really count because the first one doesn't add color.
Oh, so you just got done. This is the first session. Linda's brows were a little more sensitive than most people So they are a little bit red from the irritation. The shape looks really great. How do you feel?
They're a little unhappy right now. The feeling, but
It was a little sore.
yeah, passes with the numbing cream were a lot easier to handle. The shape is
From
good.
here so far.
The shape is good.
Yeah, it looks so good.
Yeah,
It's really
it looks like it's
like
filled
a
in.
good shape. Yeah.
Yeah.
The entire healing process will take about 2 weeks, but we'll wait 6 weeks for your skin to completely regenerate itself before we go in again with the needle. Yeah.
Do people just have one touch-up and then it's good for a while?
It's good for like a year and a half. Yeah.
Oh. And that's included when
Yes.
you like, for everybody who gets that done?
So
it's like,
your first touch-up is in 6 weeks. That's your perfecting touch-up. And then most of my clients come back annually. The annual touch-up is you pay for the annual touch-up.
okay, very cool. Thank you so much,
Thanks
Judy.
for coming.
How do you feel?
Good.
A little
I feel like your brows look very, like it suits your face really well. And it looks like you're wearing makeup, you know? Okay, we're gonna be back in 6 weeks.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm back at home. My sister just left, but I did promise you guys I was going to share some of my outfits. Hi, Aria. So I wanted to show you some of the things I got from Fabletics this month. Like I showed you guys before, I love this sweat set. This is the go-to sweater. So that's outfit number 1. This is the next outfit. Super cute. I like the sports bra because you can wear it regular in the back, or you can hook it so that it's more like a racer back. And then these are Powerhole leggings, really warm, and I really like the color. So cute. This is just another go-to sweatshirt. I'm still wearing the same leggings underneath, but I have to show you, this is so cute. It's basically a boob sweater on the back. There's all different kinds of boobs, which I think is great for various breast representation. All of the proceeds of this are going to F Cancer, 100% of the proceeds. Absolutely love it. I'm very for ladies, for boobs, all different kinds of boobs. Love boobs, boobs are great. Super cute. Okay, next outfit. This is my last outfit. These are seamless leggings, and this top is actually quite long. It has a zipper right here, and then on top I just have this little cropped puffer jacket. And this set is also very flexible and easy to move around in, which is nice. If you want to check out any of the outfits I mentioned, I will leave links in the info box down below. And if you want to sign up for Fabletics VIP, they have a lot of really great perks. You get up to 50% off all day, every single day. You also get a first look at new collections, as well as access to the Fabletics Fit app, which has a lot of really great workouts that you can do at home. So I'll leave all of the info for that down below if you guys want to check it out. So it's been 12?
This is the 12th day.
12 days since we had Linda's brows tattooed. She's been having a little bit of the cracking peeling process. I mean, the artist said it takes 2 weeks.
Yeah.
For that initial portion to heal. How do you feel like your experience was? Do you feel like it was worth it?
So the first thing that happened when I came home, I asked my 5-year-old what she thought, and she goes, your eyebrows look like we're ready to go out somewhere. And I thought actually that sounded perfect, because that doesn't sound like I'm overdone. That just sounds like I'm ready to go face the outside world. Pretty happy with those results.
How was the pain after you got home?
After I got home, it wasn't as bad. The first pass was the worst of it, and I still had that fresh in my mind. I did take some pain relievers, over-the-counter pain relievers.
One of the things that really took us by surprise is that Linda, I looked up to look for...
That's a bird.
I know.
There's like a hawk flying in the air. Yeah. Right where the sound comes from.
Yeah.
Very loud hawk.
One thing I wanted to mention is that Linda actually got a flu shot 2 days before she had her brows done. And just from your experience, I would definitely say if you're planning on getting your brows done, don't get any vaccines or shots.
Things that are going to make your immune system trigger.
Because I think that increased the inflammation for you. And it's something that the artist said as she was working on you, is that her brows were extra weepy because her body was already sort of on high alert. When we go back and do the touch-ups, hopefully your skin won't get as irritated. That was something I didn't know before, that that can have an impact on how your body heals and how your body reacts as you're actually getting the tattoo done. Maybe tattoo artists and stuff know that more, but that was shocking for me anyway.
It can cause your body to react a lot more aggressively to the actual tattooing itself and reject the ink a little bit more.
Like to push it out. So because Linda's skin was responding extra sensitively, Judy was saying that she didn't want to do another pass that she usually does. So she was actually going to do more layers of tattooing on her brows in this first session, but she kept it on the conservative side so that it wouldn't overly irritate your skin and you could heal better. That'll be interesting to see what happens after the follow-up appointment.
I feel like my scarring was a lot less than I was expecting, and I feel like the pain afterwards was a lot less than I was expecting.
Technically, it's not scarring; it's like the scabbing.
The scabbing.
I don't see any scars.
I was expecting the scabbing to be a lot more intense, and it almost feels like it faded out as opposed to the chunkiness that I've seen in pictures that other people have experienced. But that might have been because there were less passes, so there was less trauma to the skin.
Yeah, other than it being like a little reddish, which she did say like once it peels off, the color underneath isn't going to be that reddish tone. Like you can see on the inner parts, it's definitely a lot more of a neutral color.
It doesn't look like I got tattooed. It looks like I did my brows. And so when I see myself in the mirror, I'm not as shocked, with the exception of knowing that I didn't actually do anything that morning.
In the end result, I feel like we definitely made the right call doing ombre brows for you. Not only because, you know, your brow hairs are really fine and the healing is like going really, really well, but there's also no scarring.
So the first day when I came home, I had to do some aftercare every hour, and that included wiping my eyebrows with a wipe and putting gel on. And it was surprising to me how often an hour came because it felt like it came a lot more often than I was expecting. I actually put a reminder on my watch so that it would go off every hour to remind me, and it almost felt like before I thought about it, it was happening again. That took a lot of care for that first day, but after that, it was mostly just twice a day and just letting it heal. For the first week or so, you want to use filtered water or bottled water to make sure it's clean and not have tap water, but after that, you can use mild soap and water and just
wash your face like, like this.
I actually used micellar water for the first week, so I wouldn't have to have tap water to wash the rest of my face for the first week. But
oh yeah, I gave her a bottle of micellar water that I had. Thank you so much for sharing your experience. If you guys have any questions about our process, or if you had eyebrow tattoos or ombre or microblading, I would love to hear your experience down in the comments. Like, which do you prefer if you've had them done? I want to hear about more people's experience. I feel like there's not a lot of people who have shared as many of their experiences with like one versus another, you know? I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was informative or helpful. If you liked it, please hit that thumbs up button. Feel free to subscribe. And if you guys want to follow along on Linda's healing journey, I'll try to post more of that on my Instagram, which you can follow us here if you would like. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!